A new power is rising in the Total War modding scene, and you shall look to its coming at first light on the 12th day of December, for the Dawnless Days campaign is upon us, and on behalf of the Dawnless Days team, I am lucky to be able to give you this complete mod showcase, as a first true introduction to the mod's release version. And if you like what you see or are interested in helping out the mod, especially if you know 3D modeling, head over to the Dawnless Days Discord server right now and report for duty, because you are needed. Link in description. If you are unfamiliar, the Dawnless Days is a complete Lord of the Rings total conversion mod for Total War Attila. But what you might not know is that this release has been over 9 years in the making, and more than a decade if you count the original development planning stage that began for Rome 2 all the way back in 2014. That makes this one of the longest running mod projects in history, with the incredible fact that after all these years, the mod is finally graduating from being a pure battle map focused mod to one that also includes a campaign, something Total War and Lord of the Rings fans have been dreaming of since the beginning of time. The reason why it's taken so long is that the creation of a campaign map did not truly begin before 2023, 2 years ago, because that is when the team was finally able to make use of new tools that allowed them to make a new map work with a campaign AI. It's complicated stuff, the mod remains a work in progress and will continue to be developed into the future, but both you the players and the developers felt like this was the right time for a full release, and what's here is a solid and exciting foundation for the future. That is the long and short of it, and the results, well, are what you're about to see right now. Indeed, this first full release makes Dawnless Days something of a successor to the 2 previous main Lord of the Rings Total War mods, namely the Lord of the Rings Total War for Rome and Third Age for Medieval 2. But more than that, it becomes the first fit-for-purpose Total War conversion mod for Total War Attila that offers a completely new campaign map designed from the ground up. And so, since I know you've been waiting, trust me, I have too. So let's jump in. The Dawnless Days campaign will on launch feature 9 playable factions, each with their own unique leaders, cultures, units, traits, immersive locations, and even specific mission and quest lines to ensure that every playthrough feels unique and grounded in this universe. These factions are, from left to right in the menu, the Northern Kingdoms of Dale far to the north, and Rohan, located further south and west. Gondor, defenders of men and of the people of the Dunedain, lies to Rohan's east, shielding it from eastern threats. Of the Elves, the Woodland Realm is Playable, situated close to Dale and Erebor also in the north, among others featuring the characters of Thranduil and Legolas. Of the Dwarves, Erebor with its lonely mountain is yours to rule, with characters like Dain Ironfoot II, Gloin and Gimli at your disposal. From the Orcs and the Dark Powers, you may choose between the rising power of Isengard in the west ruled by Saruman and expanded by his Uruk-hai, or the Dark Lord himself, Sauron, and his Mordor in the east, directly opposite of Gondor and locked in the battle of survival with it, ruling from the Tower of Barad-dûr. Further south, play as the Southron faction of the Lost Laden tribes, or as they're also known, the Haradrim. And finally, to the furthest east reside the Easterlings and the faction of Rurim, just waiting for an opportunity to move west into Dale and beyond. You'll be happy to know that all of these factions will be playable in both single and multiplayer campaigns from day one, no DLC required. And in the future, even more factions are intended to become available. And even though there's not a lot of ocean map on this version of Middle-earth, naval battles are indeed available as well, although not every faction have unique ship models at release. And with that out of the way, let's finally dive into the meat of this campaign and see what the team has been hard at work on for the past 2 years. This is Middle-earth and its new campaign map, showcasing this world and its various realms in all their glory. Known to most, the lands of Gondor lay largely peaceful in the beginning of the game. Minas Tirith still stands tall, surrounded by mountains and its own great white walls. To its west lies the rest of this great realm of men, rich and bountiful if the right steward, or perhaps king, make good use of them. From Dol Amroth, the southern seas are kept safe for traders, but from across the sea awaits dangerous corsairs and other threats. Gondor's immediate danger lies of course to the east. The cities of Kerandros to the north and Osgiliath to the east still guard the passage eastward and will as such be crucial to defend, or conquer, depending on which side of the river you control. For now, Stuart Denethor has assigned his sons Faramir and Boromir to watch over the two cities. For across the river lies the lands of Mordor, guarded first by the dark citadel of Minas Morgul and then by the orc fortress of Cirith Ungol. Only then do you enter the true heartlands of Mordor, its environs dominated by the Great Mount Doom and Sauron's own tower, Barad-dûr. Of course, entering or leaving Mordor can also be accomplished by venturing through the Black Gates, from where one enters the no man's land of the Dead Marshes. Moving west, we come across the gates of Argonath and Amon Hen, monuments which long ago marked the northern borders of Gondor. Further west lies the kingdom of Rohan, a proud realm but one which currently struggles with turmoil and threats all around. From Edoras, Theoden King rules his horse-lord armies, if his reign can indeed be called rule. For Theoden is diminished, his mind weakened, and by lack of leadership and will to see Rohan restored, the realm suffers, threatening to come undone from both internal and external turmoil. A single army of Rohan stands and must quell the threat posed by the roving bands of Dunlending Ravagers. But a greater threat yet remains, one emanating from the Tower of Isengard, now ruled by Saruman the Wise. For Rohan, both Edoras and the mighty fortress of Helm's Deep at Hornburg must be kept safe. If they fall to Saruman or Dunland tribes alike, Rohan will fall, and Gondor will be surrounded. To the north, the elven stronghold of Lothlorien is surrounded by goblins and wildlings alike, and the fortress of Dol Guldur is never far away. And even further north, the vast forests are home to the elves of the Woodland Realm, close neighbors of both the Men of Dale and the Dwarves of Erebor in the Lonely Mountain. In the east and moving south, we have come to the vast lands of Rune, its mountainous region filled with both copper and gold, but also an army ready to march west on Mordor's orders. And even further south, below the lands of Mordor, we find the deserts of the Haradrim, a people known for ravaging the seas and coasts frequented by the people of Gondor. These are the lands you'll be fighting over in the first version of the Dawnless Days, and you'll be able to do so with any of the currently 9 playable factions. And you can see here just how much time and effort has gone into crafting this map. From unique campaign city models to accurate rivers, monuments and statues, cities like Isengard or volcanoes like Mount Doom, where smoke is ever rising, and even a city like Erebor, which is entirely enclosed in a mountain of its own. The Dawnless Days intends to bring you the ultimate Lord of the Rings experience, all within the Total War Attila format you know and love. As mentioned, there is more. Every faction in the game is part of the War of the Ring questline, essentially pitting the good factions versus the evil ones. By capturing key cities and bringing your good influence to the regions, or bad influence of course, you accumulate dominance points on your way to campaign victory, but you also gain temporary bonuses as you celebrate the successful expansion of your side's influence. In addition, for the release version, each faction in the game has at least one unique set of features. Gondor's unique questline is based around the return of the king, seeing you choose between various options in a power struggle between the continued sanity of Stuart Denethor and the possible courting of Aragorn and the restoration of his kingship. Mordor sees Sauron's obsession with the One Ring, demanding that you take your armies across Middle-earth to loot and sack cities in an effort to find it, all within a turn limit too, lest there be consequences. In Rohan, your technology tree sees you attempt to rid Theoden of Wormtongue and corruption, eventually allowing you to lead a kingdom on its own merits and not one dominated by the influence of Saruman. Isengard, beginning with only one city, allows you to rapidly expand its building slots, but also lets you quickly convert foreign buildings into Isengard ones for rapid and cheap conquest. The Elves of the Woodland Realm must contend with the Goblins of Dol Guldur, which corrupts the forest. A unique mechanic, the Cleansing of Mirkwood, sees you battle for the soul of the forest, only truly cleansing it once Dol Guldur is reclaimed, allowing you to rise to heights before unseen and recruit new elite units. Much the same goes for Erebor, who must reclaim the ancient dwarven lands of Dane's Halls, Gundabad, and Moria to gain access to its most elite forces and the riches within. You will have to contend with challenges like these and more to survive. And as you can tell, much has been done to make each faction feel unique, with much more still unsaid, like unique buildings, research trees, faction traits, and completely unique user interfaces, changing shapes, images, and colors based on the faction you are playing. All of this and so much more awaits you in the Dawnless Days campaign, but the rest is for you to explore. Of course, and as you already know if you followed the mod for the past years, the Dawnless Days offers an entire roster of unique and faction-specific units, designed from the ground up, meaning that no two factions play the same. You'll encounter Gondor's famous heavily armored units, but also auxiliary and less known units who are mustered from its various regions. The same goes for every other faction. Mordor will feature its vast hordes of orcs and trolls, but also make use of Haradrim and rune units, while Isengard will tempt you at least to only field its specialized Urukai, whether they wield swords, spears, or crossbows. You of course have access to so many other units as well. While the mod features multiple custom battle maps in the campaign as it does in custom battles, there are many custom cities that remain unfinished. But as mentioned, this is just the beginning of the Dawnless Days campaign, and updates will continue to bring more content and fixes moving forward. There is so much diversity to be found in the Dawnless Days, and you'll have to make use of every advantage you have, while taking enemy strengths into account as well, to succeed. It has been a long time coming, but a true Lord of the Rings mod is never late, nor is it early. It arrives precisely when it means to, and the Dawnless Days for Total War Attila is here on the 12th of December. Is of course completely free to play, requires no Attila DLC, offers multiplayer campaigns, naval battles, and 9 completely unique factions to explore Middle-earth with. If you're interested in what's here and want to forge your own empire in Middle-earth or indeed help out with the development of the mod, head over to the Dawnless Days Discord server. And of course, make sure to leave a like on this video, a comment with your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much to the Dawnless Days development team, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!